getting directly into the game, spawning in the top right-hand corner, evening out the series. It is Complexity Sasquatch playing as Pink Zerg.
And his opponent in the lower left is the Red Terran, XO's Epic. Now, Terran versus Zerg is definitely a dynamic difference in matchups compared to BVZ, so we'll see. We'll see how Epic handles it. We've seen a lot of cool stuff. Cheese even works really well for Terran. I don't know that any of these players have that capability in them, but 2 racks pressure on its own, anything can happen.
Funnily enough, though, what Sasquatch did in the previous game was basically a Zerg versus Terran strategy, because like Mutiling Bling is one of the kind of de facto original builds that had come out of this matchup, and so if he executes it with the same flair and panache that we saw in the previous game, also powered by having 6 freaking bases, then it could be a very difficult thing to defeat.
Yeah, and
like with a quick drop in 8 Marines.
I need to shut you up for a moment, sir, because I forgot we do have to do some shout-outs, guys. I love you, Senix. Just before the game gets too far underway, we can't talk about it. So this league is being hosted by a combination of Zeke TV and Sixpool Gaming. More importantly, Sixpool Gaming, they've put a lot of money into this. A lot of efforts being put into this team league, guys, over the course of the last month, and we still have plenty more games to play. So for those who don't know what Sixpool Gaming is, it is a resource website for StarCraft 2. Basically, they get a lot of pros like Show, Idra, In Control, Kawhi Rice. Any race that you want, Protoss, Terran, Zerg, they've got training videos on how to get better with those races. So check out their website at sixpoolgaming.com. If you sign up, you get 3 days of free premium access to every single video they have.
Yeah, really, I cannot recommend them enough, and so really, they're doing just great things for us and really supporting the community immensely, and so absolutely, even if you're not interested in their service, go to their forums, go and check out kind of everybody who is there and give them the additional traffic, let them know that you support what they are doing for everybody.
And that drone being very annoying with some harass. Looks like the stream blipped for a second. Ooh, I don't know what happened with that, but it looks fine, so I'm just going to leave it as is. We do see that Extractor probably cancel, going to be rebuilt again and again. But right now, Epic, with that expand, doesn't really care about his gas this early.
Yeah, going for the gasless expand, which is a little bit out of the ordinary in this matchup. Usually you see kind of Hellions, then going into Banshee play as the more standard answer for a lot of what Terrans have been doing, but gasless expand is definitely one of the best ways to get a huge economy rip-roaring early. As in fact, right now, there's an SCV moving to potentially take a 3rd base for Epic right now, and there it is.
Epic. Does Epic think he's Zerg? I don't understand what's going on here. This is not something you typically see versus Zerg, but I guess with this gasless opening, if he gets a lot of Marines onto the field, he can handle most of what will be coming his way.
Right now, looking at Sasquatch's vision, he has no idea that this is coming, and I mean, why would you even scout for this? This is, in many ways, so dangerous that you just kind of don't even think it's possible. Because, I mean, you could just make, like, 12 to 15, 12 to 16, because you cannot make an odd number of Zerglings, but a decent number of Speedlings, and immediately shut this down.
This is super greedy, but here's the thing. Sasquatch has no scouting information on it, and this is not something a Terran would typically do, so there's no reason for him to look there this early. I mean, he looked in the base, he saw the double gas go down, he saw a barracks at the front. I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, a pretty typical opening. Unless he gets in there soon and sees that the SCV count is low all around, that there's not a second barracks, no factory underway, he's got no reason to suspect that there's a 3rd command center. If this goes unpunished, Epic is going to be in a magnificent position going forwards.
Sasquatch is also only just now taking these 2 gases and has 3 queens on the field, so he went for the gasless style basically until about 40 supply. And ultimately that means his aggressive options are limited, trying to just send in a bunch of slow Zerglings when your opponent is going for, now we see the reactive Hellions getting started. It's suicidal.
Going for his own 3rd behind this. If we're going to see a Banshee Hellion opening off of 3 bases settings, I don't even know what's going on in this game anymore. But I mean, it's cool builds like this. This is what wins you games, going against the meta, not sticking to that typical thing that you know your opponent has seen 10 times over.
Yeah, and right now there was a Zergling who got shut down really fast. This Overlord is continuing to poke around, but really what he's going to see is exactly normal. He's going to see a couple barracks going down, a factory, and a reactor. That's just what all Terrans do. And once again, until this 3rd base gets spotted, things are going amazingly for Epic, and the longer it goes on, the better he's doing. Are you still there, Rifkin's?
Yes, sir. I'm just kind of flabbergasted about what's going on. We do have double engineering bay coming down. And this is just really cool. I like seeing stuff like this because Sasquatch is going to have to catch this eventually. I mean, people can argue, yeah, normally a Terran could have that third CC in base versus a Zerg, but all you're doing is pumping off the same two bases. This gives you a huge, huge economy boost, especially if you're dropping mules on it.
Yeah, and I would love to see basically all of the mules being dropped on this base, trying to get as much utility out of it as possible, so that if it ever does get denied, you've already strip mined a huge amount. And right now, I mean, we do see the Baneling Nest going down, but Metabolic Boost still has not even finished yet, and the third base only just now completed for Sasquatch. I mean, I feel like the opportunity for punishing this early has passed.
Yeah, and Epic did not go for Banshee follow-up this like I thought he might, and I do need to comment because there's a beautiful quote from chat. You could say the XO player has an epic economy. Credits to Penguin for coming up with that little ditty. Wanted to make sure it was immortalized in the broadcast forever. So there are a lot of Hellions on the field. They are roaming about, but it's not going to be really easy to get in here. We do see Spine Crawlers, several Queens. I mean, Epic, if he can fry some drones, combined with his third early base, he's going to be astronomically far ahead.
You can already see in the supply as well. I mean, you don't want to be just about even with a Terran player when you're moving into like the 9-minute mark in the game. You want to have at least something of a supply edge, even if it's only about 10 supply. When I said Epic is keeping kind of pace for pace exactly even with his opponent. The longer this goes on, Sasquatch might find himself in a bit of a complex situation.
Nope. Just nope. Penguins was better. You try too hard, Senex. I love you, man. So this Hellions trying to poke in. They do see the Queens, but are driven back quickly as there are Speedlings and Banelings ready to defend. And right now, just both players kind of building up their armies. We do see a large Marine count coming out of Epic, some Medivacs on the way, so we could see some drops. You know, distract the main, fry the third, anything could happen. But right now, there's just so many Speedlings defending it, there's no way for those Hellions to get in.
Excuse me. One thing that Sasquatch is doing incredibly well is just take a look at his vision. His overlords are spread out all over the map, and the creep spread is getting seriously aggressive, even moving the Spine Crawler forward to continue protecting all of the creep tuners as they advance across the map. And so all of these Marines will be moving into kind of dangerous territory. There's 2-2 upgrades on the way, and Baneling Speed just got started.
Is finally going to poke over here. There's one Marine in this bunker, though, so this base is not going to be suffering any run-bys anytime soon.
Oh, it looks like some Banelings are being morphed right now, though honestly they're kind of needed at home at the moment, though. There's just not that much to defend against this, as Epic is only one supply behind his opponent.
With 1-1 upgrades and stim completed, he's moving up here very comfortably. There are some Banelings morphing in, though, so Epic has got to be careful about that, as they will be completed in time.
Oh, he does need to watch out, though, if he doesn't get
gotta get off that creep. But oh, the Baneling's coming really from the other side! Catching those Marines. Actually, oh, beautiful load up by Epic. I almost didn't catch that. I thought they all got annihilated. Baneling Speed completing
Sasquatch,
here, but
basically did the best he could there, and is in fact completely cored this third base right now. All of the SCVs having to run away.
But the Baneling is finished off. However, looking at the natural, Siege Tank does not have it does have Siege Mode, just barely completed. But I mean, without these Marines being dropped, there's literally nothing to defend against these Banelings. And this is going to be very tight for Epic to hold as, oh no, Sasquatch just going straight for the third, but a nice liftoff. SUV's trying to get away, but there's just no way for them to escape this massacre.
Yeah, and right now, this greedy build, unfortunately, losing that initial attack is just making it so hard to defend. Is right now, even Mutalisks are coming on the field, so even though this base has been lifted up, it will continue taking harassment. I'd also love to see all of those Mutalisks get sent somewhere that's not in the third, though. In fact, it looks like the third might even be cleaned up, which would be just a big, big win from Epic.
But again, we have a tank down, but no siege mode. We need that. You really need that splash damage to deal with this many Zerglings and Banelings. It's hard to deal with the focus fire, and oh wow, that siege tank somehow lives 40 health on it, 7 kills, beautiful. And Sasquatch down here, oh, I don't know why he cancelled that base, but rebuilding it, going for that 5th, already having that 4th underway, really in a nice position to take the late game. Suddenly, as Senex said, Epic's advantage dwindling away.
Yeah, he's down to just 53 SCVs. Taking a quick look at the workers. Kill tab 22 are down, and it looks like Sasquatch is not done yet. Oh. Just as the drop loads up as well, all those units will be desperately wanting.
Siege Tank's trying to focus down, but not going to be enough. There's just too many Banelings and too many Mutalisks left over afterwards.
Oh my god, all of these SCVs getting wiped out as the Banelings to continue to connect. I mean, just once again, Sasquatch has shown that infinite pressure at Lair Tech is really where he wants to go in this clan war, and it looks like it's going to get him another victory, as right now it's just 64 supply against 130, with units just rallying over. Look at kind of the twin veins through the middle of the map that the Zerglings are running.
Oh no, look at this. We have 17 Banelings Morphean in base. Epic trying to deal with it. Oh, actually forcing a lot of those to be cancelled.
However, it's at the, because he had to use all the Marines to deal with that, he's using all of the SCVs at his third.
48 workers killed. This is going to be devastating for Epic to come back from.
I mean, yeah, like, this is just looking so harsh. He desperately, desperately needs a couple of missile turrets, because right now his army is just getting picked apart as it tries to move all over the place.
Oh, and no spread on these Marines, trying to run back. Nice spread.
Yeah, Siege Tank wiped out before it could deal any damage to the Banelings, and a very good Marine split right there, but just not enough. So many raw units.
Medevacs being rallied in at home. We have a Siege Tank sieging up, but again, these Zerglings are just going to swarm in. And I think this might just be the end of Epic, as Sasquatch is continuing to produce Zerglings behind this.
SCV is forced to be pulled off the line. Definitely a sign of desperation, as really the production structure is being camped is what is the kind of ultimate doom here. He can't even get enough forces to get the critical mass out. Unfortunately, Epic is forced to GG.